questions. Numbers will be on your screen. 7.
This is a great time here to get things planning up. You know, they have
a lot about
Oh, please join us. With your question. Hi, I'm Shelley Irwin. Thanks for joining us for a special Ask the. Tonight we ask the educators from their respective fields and highlight the initiative Get Your Diploma, Get Your Dream. Feel free to call in with your questions or comments. Those numbers will be at the bottom of the screen. Tonight we have those experts in studio. Ricardo Martinez from the Hispanic Center of Western Michigan. Ricardo, thank you for being here. Jamie Mitchell from Third Coast Counseling. Bobby Springer from the Grand Valley State University Office of Multicultural Affairs, and my colleague Steve Chappell from WGVU Public Media. Gentlemen, I'm proud to be the thorn between the roses here. Thanks for being here. Steve Chappell, can you please share this initiative that we're lucky to share with the community?
Certainly. WGVU is proud to have received one of 41 grants nationwide from the Corporation for Public Broadcasting. Get Your Diploma, Get Your Name is a local name for a larger initiative called American Graduate, Let's Make It Happen. It's a public media initiative funded through the Corporation for Public Broadcasting. And this project, in my opinion, allows us to fulfill our responsibility as a public broadcaster, and that responsibility is to serve a wide variety of needs in the public, either through on-air programming or engagement events.
Great. And of course, the bottom line is we are here to talk about and to discuss, and as we have been, why our high school kids are dropping out. And here I turn to you, the experts. Let me begin with you, Bobby Springer. Are we in a high school dropout crisis?
I would have to say yes. A lot of our students are dropping out, and some of the reasons that I think they're dropping out, students making the connection between school and jobs. Students thinking that school is boring. With the technology that the students use on a day-to-day basis, it's hard for them to go to class and sit in class after class and hear lectures all day when they're so used to using the technology. Also, I believe, this is just my thoughts, the students today are very, very lazy. They really like to take the shortcuts, and they don't like to work, you know, hours here and hours there, that there's no shortcuts. And in family situations, students, family backgrounds are probably more challenging than ever. Every time you look up, there's someone losing their job, and when that happens, it just has a ripple effect in homes across the city.
Yes. Ricardo, your workings with the center, are you touched by this? Would you call this a crisis? Are you dealing with this?
Yes, I strongly agree that we do have a crisis, but I also feel that, you know, when kids come into school, you know, we don't realize what they're coming into this morning. Teachers don't take the time to really take time to talk to the student, how they're feeling when they're coming in, what's going on in their lives. I feel that teachers have really lost hope in the students. You know, I understand, as like they have mentioned right now, is that, you know, students are lazy. They're lazy for a reason. We've made it to where, you know, technology and everything else is there, but we haven't really challenged the students. You know, we don't understand what these students are coming into when they come into the morning. When they come in, they carry their baggage, which is the baggage that carries all their schoolwork and everything else. But the second baggage that they're coming in with the problems day in, day out. Mm-hmm. You know, mom lost her job, dad's being deported. Where do we turn to? Who do we turn to? If I can't come in the morning and, you know, come in and the behavior that I come in and you don't understand what I'm going through, mm-hmm. Why don't you take time to ask me, what am I going through?
Yes, we'll talk about that. Jamie, do you run across this crisis in your line of work?
Oh, absolutely. I see a lot of kids. I've also worked at alternative high schools, and I think there's a societal expectation that hurts these days, that education is not always seen as really the way to achieve. Kids want to achieve kind of in the easy way. Bobby mentioned that they can be lazy. They can be lazy, but we also come from a culture where kids would like to achieve by being stars, by being athletes. And it's only a small percentage of kids or people who can achieve it that way. And that leaves the rest kind of out in the cold. So I think there is a crisis with that. One of the biggest ways you can tell if a child's most likely to go to college is by looking at their parents. And kids whose parents went to college are more likely to go to college. So kids whose parents haven't gone to college, parents really have to make more of an effort. And again, one of the ways you can look at kids who will make it through school is parents who are involved. Parents who are involved with their kids, parents who are involved with their school.
Steve, I know as part of this initiative you gathered community leaders and educators and kids recently, and I think you asked this question, why are kids dropping out?
That's the exact question we asked. The point of this grant project, Get Your Diploma, Get Your Dream, is to create awareness of the causes of kids dropping out, the ramifications to those kids, to their families, and to our community, because it impacts us all economically and in many other ways. And then to look at ways that this project can bring together the stakeholders, parents, students, experts like Bobby and Ricardo and Jamie, and then look at what solutions we can focus on, either individually, kids and parents at home engaging more in their own education, or how we can work more creatively together, because there's a lot of outstanding, sustained programs, a lot of bright people, a lot of great organizations focusing on this in West Michigan, but there still is that gap. And this project focuses on the at-risk population. We held a community summit last Wednesday at the Rapid. It was attended by over 110 people. We had an esteemed panel. We had parents, we had students and educators. And what was most satisfying, I think most telling about that event, is that the parents and the students enlightened everyone as to what they're facing, what they're dealing with. And some of the comments that were made, we had breakout sessions, and we posed that question first to the panelists, which was comprised of superintendents, principals, other folks, and then we posed it to the audience. And students, when they were asked why kids are dropping out, came up with such answers as, I'm focusing on surviving, how can I focus on education? Other comments were, my parents don't understand the curriculum to help me. So these are real problems. And I think any one of us in this room faced with some of these issues, multiple issues. I mean, it comes down to, and Jamie will appreciate this, Maslow's hierarchy of needs. If we're dealing with not enough food, with unhealthy home environments, with unemployment issues, with not supportive parents, it becomes a real problem. So this grant is focusing on bringing the stakeholders together, like the people around this table right here, and taking a look at how we can better serve our students and families.
Yeah, let me have you respond to that, Ricardo.
I totally agree with what you've said. You know, I've heard a couple of things that this gentleman has said, you know, about the kids and so on and so forth. But we have to go back and focus on what the problem is with these kids. You know, students are teachers are giving up on these students completely. You know, they come in and see a troubled child. They prefer to kick him out instead of helping him and understanding what's going on in his life. I see this day in, day out. Not too long ago, an hour ago, I had a single mother come in. Families destroyed. Father deported. Children, the grades are going down. Is anybody taking time to counsel these kids? You're going to be all right. You're going to be all right. My mother didn't go to college, but I had teachers that gave their time, and they helped me out.
Bobby, you have a success story, yeah?
Yes, you know, myself, you know, and I hear everyone, it's going to take the whole community, you know, to make a difference. I mean, it's going to take the principal, the teachers, the coaches, the community, the neighbors in the community. It's going to take the bus driver, everybody to pitch in to make a difference. I come from a situation where my parents didn't go to college. They didn't even graduate from high school. So therefore, if it wasn't for my parents, I still needed their encouragement. But it took the community to work with a kid like myself. I mean, everybody pitched in, and because of that, I'm here having this conversation with you, and that's what it's going to take today for all of us, those teachers. If the teachers would give just like they give to their children, if they would give to somebody else's child, that's what it's going to take. I was just in a conversation with a retired administrator, past teacher, and he shared with me that if he could go back in time, one thing that he would do over, you know, he did a great job at the school, but he said outside of the school, when I used to take my kids here and there, he said, I wish I would have taken more kids in the neighborhood. That's what it's going to take. Not for me just to invest in my kids, because that's important, but for all of us to invest in somebody else's kid.
To make sure Bobby Springer has somewhere to go at 4 o'clock in the afternoon.
Yes.
Jamie, what is your involvement here again? What's happening in the psych?
Well, I think with a lot of kids, we do see a breakdown in both families and in society in general. That it's a lot harder. Certainly, I think it was harder than I was a kid. I was very fortunate. Both of my parents went to college. My father died when I was younger, but the whole thought was I would go to college. There wasn't even a question. My wife, on the other hand, has parents who didn't go to college. Her father didn't go to college. But they put a lot of focus on their kids going to college. And so they did go to college. In fact, one of their children is a professor here at Grand Valley State. So they really put that kind of focus on education.
Yeah, good story.
And did engender it.
Going to take a quick break, show you what's coming up next week. Of course, gobble, gobble. Call in with your questions on this special edition of Get Your Diploma, Get Your Dream. And of course, next week, I think you'll miss Ask the Expert, but have a happy Thanksgiving. Of course, WGVU will continue its great programming. Right now, get your diploma, get your dream. We need to, again, combat this difficulty we have in our own backyard. What's the center doing at this point to assist with this, Ricardo?
So this is what, one of the things that we've taken a challenge on is bringing in kids and resources for the parents. We have parent meetings twice a month in English and in Spanish, and so what we do is we bring all the resources to the parents so that they can have all the resources to be able to help their kids. One, we're teaching them ESL. Two, we're going to teach them computers so they're able to do that. Three, we've got, with the program that we have in the afternoon from 3:30 to 5:30, we've got tutors, tremendous tutors that come in from Grand Valley. They're bilingual. They help our students in whatever language, which is true, because we have bilinguals, and we do have students that have problems with the English language. But along with that, each one of them specializes in either math, geometry, whatever that is, the needs that the child needs. So we're giving them all these resources to start there. I'd like to go back to the question that Mr. Bob said. You know, I feel that teachers need to stop trying to control students, and they need to, you know, to become coaches. Coaches kids along.
So the teachers, it sounds like the teachers themselves need to be educated.
Exactly.
Which is a little scary. Bobby, you're involved with, is it Gear Up?
Yes, Gear Up stands for Gaining Early Awareness and Readiness for Undergraduate Programs. We're funded again for the second time, where we will work with 7th graders and we will follow them throughout their high school experience. That meaning that these students will graduate 2017. So we will work with over 500 students on making sure that they are familiar with this college process. For example, just this year, what we want to do is make sure that all of the students come out to Grand Valley and work with professors, work with college students, you know, visit the different parts of the campus. And probably the favorite part is having lunch in the cafeteria. We are collaborating with WGVU, with the School of Broadcasting, where we're looking to bring students here to learn about how all this works. I mean, it's more than just what you see and what you hear on the radio and on television, but I mean, how does it start? And what we want to do is to start this process with a small group of students and give them experience of a lifetime. And we're very fortunate to have this opportunity. The Gear Up program is all over the state of Michigan at all 15 public universities, and it's an opportunity to engage students in the college process at an early age. And
I'm going to have you expand on that program, Steve, but isn't it all about finding a mentor, or there is life after high school, but there is a process to get to be a broadcaster, et cetera. How will this program work, Steve?
Well, I'll go into that, but I first just want to stress that WGVU's role in this project is to serve as a convener, a catalyst, bringing together all of the organizations, because when you look at West Michigan and Southwest Michigan, students are lucky to live in this community. We have a tremendous amount of ongoing programs through Schools of Hope, Heart of West Michigan United Way. The Literacy Center of West Michigan just launched a multi-year community literacy initiative that was just launched a couple of weeks ago that will focus on early childhood through adults, because it takes, as Bobby said, an entire community and certainly an entire family, whatever that family consists of. So there are a lot of good efforts, but one theme has seemed to emerge to my ears, and that is that kids that face a rough course, if they're lucky enough to find that mentor, someone that quote unquote cares, whether that's Ricardo Martinez or Bobby Springer or Jamie, a parent, a teacher, someone to provide some encouragement. And it makes good sense because Kent ISD, another partner in this project, just surveyed over 17,000 students, and they found from the students' voices themselves that a lack of student engagement is a real problem. They get bored. They're not engaged with the process. And if they're not engaged with the process, there's a much higher rate of likelihood of dropping out. So the program that Bobby just spoke about, focusing on the relevancy of education, Bobby and I will be partnering next week on the 22nd when middle school students from 5 schools, part of the Gear Up program, will come here to WGVU and participate in a day-long broadcast class. And we'll be focusing on showing those students why it's important to focus on math and English, and how they can put those skills to use in the real world and gain satisfaction from creating something that they can call their own. And then on December 7th, in partnership with Celebration Cinema North, we are going to invite those students, along with about 150 others, to watch the videos that were created by these students and hear a motivational speaker later that day.
Yeah, nice. Jamie, how important is early intervention if we see some of these risks, these symptoms?
I think it's incredibly important. The sooner you can address a problem, the easier it is to usually deal with. You don't want to wait until these kids are way far behind and then have to struggle so hard to get them caught up. I liked what Steve said about engagement, because really kids do a lot better when they feel engaged in something, when there's an interest in something they can grab a hold on. Then it's a lot easier for them to move forward and have a reason to move forward. So I think that's incredibly important.
Do you, communication between the parents and, let's say, that
can be very important.
Yeah.
And when I work with students, I also try and work with their parents whenever possible, because if you can get everyone working together, it usually works better. Now, sometimes you can't do that. Sometimes a parent may not be involved. They may not choose to be involved. So you really have to find a way for the child to get engaged, to see a reason for education, what they can get out of it, and focus them towards the future.
Ricardo, how do we work on the preventative side of this?
In order to prevent the child from dropping out, it's we need to continue to let them know that we're there for them, You know, they're not the only ones that are going through the struggle. We're all going through the struggle, but if we all work at it together and they see that we really care, don't push me off to the side. Don't just promise me something. You know, don't promise me something that you're not going to be able to keep. Keep my dream going by getting involved with me.
Yeah.
Don't put me off to the side.
And that has to be with the teacher, the
There has to
parent,
be
the community,
teacher,
the
parent,
big brother.
counselor, advocate, grandma, grandpa, everybody involved. If we go back to the old day, very old school, because I'm very old school, you know, everybody was involved. If I got into trouble, the neighbor found out about it. I didn't want to go to grandma because grandma was the one that would settle the whole issue right away. So we got it from every side, you know, of the street. And that was getting everybody involved. And we need to get the whole community involved. We need to get everybody involved in order for us to go on and see more of our kids graduate.
Bobby?
I would just have to echo that. It's going to take all of us, no matter if it's your child or not, we still need to put forth that 100% effort in making sure that all the kids have an opportunity. And then also I want to share this with the young people, the students out there. You need to dream. I mean, students need to dream. I mean, you know, bigger than your community, you know, bigger than the state of Michigan. We need to dream. I know, I think about myself, you know, I wanted to be an athlete, play professional basketball, but, you know, that opportunity, you know, playing sports, you know, gave me an opportunity to go to college where I was able to get a degree, and now I have a professional job. I mean, I'm a professional. I get a chance to hang out with great people like you. I get a chance to make a difference. And students can have that same opportunity if they continue to dream.
Steve, again, this initiative ongoing now, but you're planning on taking this to the next step where we might start doing some, I mean, we need action items, some mentoring and some, you know, after-school programming. Or
the number of partners continues to grow. There is a project website, wgvu.org/graduate. Again, wgvu.org/graduate. Number of initiatives are mentioned right there on that site. Kent County College Access Network through the Grand Rapids Community Foundation, Kent Innovation High School through Kent ISD. There are a lot of initiatives. Our next step is to partner with local businesses, entrepreneurs, organizations, where kids can experience that dream and begin to reach out further. But I think the most important thing is to set expectations. Our daughter's a straight A student, but she works at it every single night, and the expectation is there. So I feel really blessed. As a community, we need to look at all children as our children. If we live in a civil society, it's our responsibility to take care of all of our children, and that means to reach out through mentoring, through other organizations, and through collaborative efforts.
Yep. I'm going to see if we have a caller on the line. Caller, are you there?
Yeah.
Yeah, what's your question, please?
I want to know how I can help.
How can a community member help? Ricardo.
Well, the first thing that I would say to you is go to any school, all right, or any organization that's out there to help these kids and be a mentor. Come in and volunteer and help these students out.
So say I want to, you know, spend an hour a week
I want to
with you.
spend an hour a week to help. Schools are so much need right now of mentors, of people just to help these kids realize that there's somebody out there that cares. So all you need to do is go to any of the schools, any of the organizations and say, hey, I'm here to volunteer. I want to make a difference.
Yes. Jamie.
I don't know what I could say better than that.
Yeah.
I mean, I think that's right on target. It's one thing anyone can do, and it doesn't have to be working directly with students. If you're good at that, if you feel comfortable doing that, that's great. But the schools need all sorts of volunteers these days.
Great. I'll
That
go
would
to
be
you,
wonderful.
Bobby. Yeah. Thanks, Jamie.
Yeah, you know, the Gear Up, I mean, I'm always looking for insight from individuals like yourself. I'll give you my direct number, which is 616-331-2177. That's 616-331-2177. I would love to talk to you and see how we might be able to have you to come into what we are trying to do.
Your final words, Steve Chappell?
I would just echo what both Ricardo and Bobby said. They are the people that are in the schools working day after day, and these are the people that kids are going to look up to and are going to cling to, and they'll get engaged in that effort. If you go to the website, wgvu.org/graduate, we have a list of ways you can get involved, and we are hooking you up with people like the Hispanic Center of Western Michigan and the Gear Up program and other organizations.
What is your website, please, Ricardo?
It's a Hispanic Center of Western Michigan.
Western Michigan,
Yeah.
yes, yes. How about yourself, Third Coast Counseling?
I don't
Not to
remember.
worry.
Yes.
Jamie
I
Mitchell
don't
can be-
remember my
It's okay, because you're
website number.
too busy helping others.
That's it exactly.
Bobby, again, you'll take all volunteers of all sizes. And
Yeah, please call me. Love to talk with you and find out how you might be able to help in the efforts that we're trying to accomplish.
Great. And of course, Steve Chappell, again, thanks for you on the initiative. The December 7th Celebration Cinema event is going to be instrumental in touching some pretty cool lives, thanks to you. All right, gentlemen, go get them. Thanks to you. And thanks to you. Take care.